Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight we have the Princess of Cups, one of my favorites, most definitely. This is an archetype of, well, I think of it often as like these coming of age stories, right? Where everything is kind of beautiful and naive and gorgeous. There's this movie called Stealing Beauty. Had Liv Tyler in it. And it's a beautiful, the context is it's in the 90s, right? And it was made in the 90s. So maybe not, it doesn't necessarily translate to this period of time as well. But there is this kind of very dreamy quality of a young woman coming into those older teen years, into her young adulthood. And when I see the Princess of Cups, I feel like, yeah, I remember those feelings of being young and having such interest in life, these impulses towards learning and connecting and knowing people and going places and noticing the little beautiful details of life and how quickly the emotions can shift, right? How quickly we can go from such a sour and dark mood to shifting into, pure love. Love and light and beautiful fields of flowers and frolicking and all of this. Something that is wonderful about the youthful mind, right? So this is such a wonderful card, especially for this change of seasons. Now we are going into summer, we are going into winter, depending on where you're at, right? The solstice is coming up here in a few days. And, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of anticipation for this next season. All right, and if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. All right, so we immediately have two goats, okay? We have a skull right in the middle. We also have a person who seems to be, I'm looking at it, it looks like it's planting seeds. Okay, right here, kind of at the base of the skull. Now, what comes to mind is this idea of ancestral worship, right? To kind of become the patron of your line. Now, there are cultures and there are practices, there are religions even, and the first one that always comes to my consciousness is Shinto, right? This caring for objects and altars that are dedicated to our elders, to our ancestors who have transitioned from their corporeal bodies into the other place or places, right? And so I'm looking at this and I feel like, yeah, there's this real kind of devotion to maybe the self-mythologies. That is the story, the histories of family and your own experience. But I also think that there's a lot of respect expect, and maybe even a great movement towards legacy, right? You might be a person who is really devoted to building some kind of lasting monument to not only your life, but probably, like the family, the surname, the lineage. I was trying to think of it. Lineage. Not all of us are interested in this, right? I have absolutely zero interest in legacy. Actually, I think that I am interested in figuring out complete dissolution of my self mythologies. But I do know that other people, and a lot of people, I would say, are often worried about or concerned with their lasting effect on the world. Okay, and I think that this is somebody who, you are somebody who, I should say, I'm reading for you, who is, there's some degree of, wanting to make something that lasts. And so we also have the two goats. Okay. Immediately I was like, okay, we got some kind of Capricorn energy in here. We have some Saturnine energy going on. Some difficulties, I think on the outer rim of life here. And I think that these are practical matters. Okay. Money, relationships, maybe living, the place that you're living. Now, these are core things, but they are not things that are core to your being, as in your persona, identity, your authentic self. These are things that exist in the lower realms and base reality. They are core to your life because they are foundational, right? Having a disruption in housing or finances, the ability to pay your bills and these kinds of things absolutely change how life is, right? How you're feeling, what you're thinking about, quite literally where you're at. So I do feel like there is a sense of at least worry, right? Maybe some anxiety coming through. But we have the double goat, okay? Now the goat is a being of resilience, first and foremost. Resilience, agility, the ability to traverse situations that seem impossible. You're really good at figuring out how to make something work, even at the last minute. And I'm thinking immediately, I thought of when we were kids, and I think even now I still kind of say this every once in a while. We used to call, like when you would figure out how to do something with like duct tape and a stick and, whatever you had in the glove box of your car or whatever. And we would call it like, I'm going to MacGyver it. I'm going to use whatever is around me to fix the situation, to do this thing, to complete this task. And you're resourceful. You're able to MacGyver parts of your life, right? You just figure it out. Now, it might not last forever, but it'll work right now. And this maybe is part of why you are interested or concerned with longevity, with a lasting effect. Okay, maybe it is that you're tired of just trying to patch things up constantly, right? You want life to show you some ease, to just be able to dwell in a place where there's nothing that needs to be toiled over, or fixed, or, you know, whatever. I think it's coming. It will come. But do not betray the blessing that it is that you are so intelligent and so capable, skillful, that you are able to find your way out of, often difficult situations. It is tiring. I know. But you're also a Leo. You don't really run out of energy, do you? I feel like Leos never do. Maybe they do. I don't know. You tell me. Do you get tired? Or you just go sit out in the sun and recharge yourself? So we do also have a bird here. Okay, kind of coming for this goat. We have a bird down here. So we do have some real synchronicities that will be coming through for you. Okay, so keep your eye out. There are maybe symbols, concepts, phrases or words or numbers repeating themselves in your life. Look for those. Get a little pad of paper, use your phone, a magical diary or journal or something. Write down what you are experiencing so you can look for the patterns, because they will emerge. It seems like a very potent time. A very potent time indeed. Okay, now we have a kangaroo and we have a baby kangaroo, or a child kangaroo. Maybe two of them actually. We have 1, 2, and then the larger one right here. And maybe even one up here actually. Oh my gosh, one up here. There seems to be a whole bunch of kangaroos. They all look like kangaroos. There's like a whole family of them. The longer I look, the more I see. There's another one over here. All right, so we have a family of kangaroos. And so now I feel like I'm trying to think, are these animals that are kind of, do they hang out in packs? They must, right? I've never been to Australia, so I've never seen, I don't even think I've seen them at zoos or anything. So I've never seen them in person, but I've seen plenty of videos, you know, David Attenborough and all that kind of stuff. But I often think of them as the mother archetype. Also, well, there are, you know, the highly masculine qualities of the kangaroo as well, the male kangaroo. But here it feels like there's just this sense of community, really being in there with your family, caring for one another. It feels like you have probably a pretty developed family connection. The dynamics seem very intricate. Right? So I feel like it's like not only just family, but there are deep friendships within these relationships. It's not just like, oh, this is my mom, so, you know, I go and see her once a week or whatever. We have dinner once in a while. No, you are friends with your parents, with your siblings, your children, and so on. And you all kind of, I feel like, have each other's backs. You're a rare family, I would say. There's a closeness here that has remained unrattled by the circumstances of the world. Now, we've seen a lot of relationships kind of dissipate in these last 5 years or so. Maybe even more now, I guess. But especially since we went through that thing globally, right? It kind of, at least in America, there was a division among people. And now we're kind of in the we're past it to some degree, right? Thinking back on those years of 2020 and the years right after that, the emotions, the way that we treated each other, the, well, let's just face it, lack of privacy, kind of this feeling that people had that basically not only should we have access to what everybody's doing, but also their medical information, just demanding that we know about one another, what you've done, what you haven't done, this and that. Okay, it seems like in retrospect, pretty out of hand. Now, of course, we are all in the heat of the moment, okay? And I say this as a very private person for the most part. So for me, I could not understand it necessarily. But here's the thing is that I watched a lot of families, I watched a lot of friendships really challenged because of the divisions. Now, I think it was amplified just by the way, things were reported on and whatever, right? The discourse online was a big thing. And I think that, there have been a lot of families that have had to heal from that, a lot of friendships, communities, and, some, I would say a good deal of where those fractures happened, have not become the same. And in retrospect, it seems quite sad, right? But I do feel like your family unit did not succumb to this. I feel like you found a way through it all. Now, maybe it is that you all kind of were like-minded, you kind of agreed on, your positions, and everybody was pretty, I was going to say realistic, but not realistic, but just kind of, I don't know, not as reactionary maybe, honoring one another, respecting one another. And I feel that you have retained this closeness. It absolutely is flourishing. And so I look at this and I think this is a really blessed alignment you have. You are among people who love you and whom you love without question. That is a rarity. Very few have this in earnest. So this is something I think, that, if you don't know, if you're completely oblivious to the rest of us out here, a lot of us had pretty complicated and difficult relationships with our families of origin, and sometimes our chosen families as well, right? So this is quite a blessing. Now, we also have this beautiful heart up here. We have a person holding a child. And I do feel like there's a sense of, maybe a new child coming in to the family here pretty soon. Or it could be that this is a time of rebirth for you. A deciding to kind of change the life that you're living, to begin in a different direction, which is not a rare thing for Leos. You all are good at beginning new chapters. And I can feel that you have a pull towards, something new, something different. Maybe this is within the career. Maybe this is the family dynamic. Maybe this is self-work, spiritual work. But I feel you really putting your all into this thing. And when I close my eyes here and I'm thinking, it's kind of like a plant reaching out towards the sun, going to its little tendrils looking to grasp onto something, to pull it, to elevate towards that, solar energy. And yes, and there is a belovedness here. Now there's also a turtle. So a reminder to take things slow. Yeah, let it grow in its own time. Enjoy this journey. Let yourself be in the thing. It all goes so fast anyways, but when we are in a race, we're always, here, there, everywhere. Let's get these things done as quickly as possible. I want it all now, now, now. It's also forgettable when that happens, when we live that way. But if we take our time with things, we get in there and we kind of splendor in it all. Take it all in, the lushness of it. That fiery connection to the universe. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. That is it. All right, let's take a look over here. We have a dog running. We have a little heart. We have a person up here who is kind of meandering, taking a little walk possibly. Illuminating light. So, I feel that there is a sense of, we are kind of out here in the wilderness a bit. And that quite literally, I feel like there's a sense of maybe like going for a hike, going for a walk, looking for places that make you feel something out there, outside of buildings, outside of institutions, outside of, even your relationship to others. Getting out into the world, really breathing in that hopefully fresh air. But I feel you very much lost in thought. In the green, in the golds, in the, if you're in the southern hemisphere, and maybe these are darker days, a little cooler, overcast, maybe some rain. But yeah, being out there, enjoying whatever it is, whatever the quality of weather and environment is. And I feel that there's just such a devotion. There's just such a sense of devotion here. And as I turn it, we have a person who is in praise, and we also have a snake with them. So I do feel like this is kind of the... it is a devotion, and devotion comes from the dog. Loyalty, devotion, kinship. It is with the divine, but also the beloved, right? The beloved as an expression of the divine, of God, goddess, cosmos. Having this person or persons in your life who exemplifies the qualities of the divine that impassion you, right? If we're lucky, we find a beloved in our life, somebody who is manifest from that soul place. Now, some of us are very lucky. We have many beloveds. We find the beloved in, our spouses, our relationships, our lovers, our animal companions, our children, our families. Now, it might be that there are fragments of that divinity in all of the people that we know, and all of the people that we open our hearts to. I'm of this belief: the beloved is in all things. Now, sometimes more potent in others, than some, some people you'll experience little moments of the beloved. You'll see attributes of the beloved. And then there are people who are absolutely, you look at them and you feel them and you are close with them, and there is an undeniable current. It's if you've known them forever and ever and ever. They are part of you. I think that sometimes this is like what people call twin flames. Now, I don't prefer this concept of twin flames. I could go into it forever about how dangerous I believe it is to perceive people as extensions of self, or that you belong or they belong to you. Listen, no. I say this as somebody who strives for autonomy constantly, I guess. And I think about this for my daughter as well. And I think this is where it really hits for me, is that I want her to be her own being. I don't want her to live in connection to somebody else, right? Like, oh, you complete me. No, we complete ourselves. But it is wonderful to find a kindred being in this universe. Now, I do think that we have soul connections, and we have what people call kind of soul contracts. We manifest with one another throughout incarnate cycles. But yes, this idea that we are two of the same and we're in different, I don't know. I feel like that can get real messy real quick. But I do feel that there's a sense of beloved, yes, and there's a knowing. I don't know. Have you met somebody like that in your life where you just feel at home with them? You hear them, you look at them, the words that they say, the way that they feel, the way that they touch you. You hold hands and you think, this is forever. There's nothing here that could change the way that I feel about this person. Yeah, very rarely, right, in life does that happen. I know for sure my daughter, I felt this with. And, there's also been love other places that has felt like this. But it is so rare. And when it is complete, it is the most profound thing. And I feel that there is at least some resonance of this for you. And I feel that you swim in it lately. I can imagine that you are just completely immersed in it, at least in mind, probably in spirit. All right. Let's see. We're going to do our doors, our divine doors. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Oh, yes. Beautiful. I don't know. I always try to guess. Like, what is this? It looks like maybe, I don't know. It looks European of some kind. The flowers. I don't know. Castle, maybe. So it says, 11 numbers in doubles. Synchronicity in 2. Don't hold back your love now. Life is meant for you. Pass this card on. Yesterday, I don't want to be too revealing. Well, nobody really knows. And I don't know that this person even watches my readings. But yesterday I noticed somebody who I talk to at least like once or twice a week. She has a 1111 tattoo. I thought, whoa, that's hecka cool. I'm not going to ask her about it. Well, I might at some point. But yeah, really neat. Random. You know, it's so interesting. I always say this on here. We can spend so much time looking for people that feel like overtly spiritual, or they hold some kind of title of they're a holy person of some kind, an occultist or a priest, priestess, you know, whatever. And these people are important. They serve their functions, and you know, we often are drawn to trying to find some answers from their understanding, their wisdoms, and so on. And that's sometimes that comes through. But I swear, it's the most random people. The lay people, the profane, as they're called in initiation, people who are just regular people. They are the ones that hold the keys. They have so much to teach us. We're looking for it in these places that are decorated and obvious, right? And so often it lacks. It's not exactly what you're seeking. But then you meet somebody, you know each other in a completely different context. It's a chance, you know, encounter, a conversation that starts on something completely, you know, just mundane. But then there's these moments where you think, wow, this is God here, this is Goddess here, this is the divine, and you're just never not surprised, right? Yeah, I saw that and I just kind of, it made me smile in my soul a little bit. All right, Leo, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe, and if you would like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, I think that's it. All right, Leo, I love you so much. You know that. I hope you know that. And we'll talk in a few days. Take care of yourself. Good night.